What's up, everybody? It's Rick, and welcome to Cities Skylines. Certainly not a new game. This game has been out for years, but lately I've been watching a lot of the YouTuber City Planner Plays. He is a real city planner who plays this game, and he's really good at it and does a really great job of explaining this game and just getting me in the mood to play some City Skylines. So I figured, why not start a new playthrough, post it on YouTube, get you guys involved, and hopefully you guys enjoy this game as much as I do. Like I said, it's been out for years. If you guys are unfamiliar with this game, it is a city management simulator in the same vein of games like SimCity. SimCity, of course, is the game I grew up playing and loving. EA sort of ran that franchise into the ground, but luckily Paradox was here with City Skylines to rescue the genre, and honestly, this has become the gold standard for these city management simulators, and I'm excited to jump into this one. I've got a few mods. I'm not going to go through them all, but suffice to say, we are playing with some mods. I'll explain them once we get into the game, but let's go ahead and start a new game, and I'm excited to build a city here with you guys, and I think we're going to build on the Diamond Coast. The Diamond Coast is cool. It's a tropical map. You can see down here the natural resources. It's got a lot of forestry. It's got a lot of ore. It's got a lot of fishing. It's got a little bit of farming and a little bit of oil. So those are the natural resources that we're going to be looking for, and try to make an industry around those. Not to mention, it's sort of a tropical paradise, and it's going to be really cool to play this and check this out. As far as the map's name goes, I'm going to call this, you know what, Santa Vegas actually sounds pretty good to me. I'll call it San Vegas. How about that? I've lived in a lot of places like San Clemente growing up, San Juan Capistrano, also lived in Las Vegas. So this is kind of a combination of cities that I've grown up knowing and loving throughout my life. So let's go San Vegas. All right, y'all, and here we are, our little starting plot in San Vegas. You can see I can pan out a little bit. We're not starting in the most desirable of places. We're not starting on the sandy beach, so we can't make super cool beachside resorts just yet or anything like that. We've just kind of got this plain little plot of land for us to start on, but that's okay. Eventually we'll widen our city out. We'll expand all the way out to here, but we'll take advantage of what we've got for now. And first thing we've got to do is make an off-ramp from this highway into our city. So let's go ahead and open our roads here, and let's start to do that. So I'll go ahead and just make something like that. And then what I'll do is go ahead and turn off the road snapping so that I can just eyeball this and try to get this right in the middle here. Just using my eyeballs. There we go. And then I think that is looking pretty straight right there. There we go. What I'm going to do is create us an off ramp that will do the trick for what we need for now. We'll just do like that with my curved line tool. There we go. Destroy this in the middle. And now we're going to click this upgrade, because we're going to upgrade these. These are now 2-lane streets, but we want them to be 1-lane streets. So what we're going to do is replace that and replace that. These are going the wrong way, so we're just going to right-click on those to flip them around. And there you go. We've got ourselves a simple little off-ramp, which will suffice for us right now. And then we've got to start our city proper. Where are we going to build it? Well, we've only got $68,710, but I'll tell you right now, we are playing with a mod called No Bankruptcy, which means that if we go into the red, which means that we are spending more money than we're making, we go into the negative, the game will allow us to do that. There's no bankruptcy here, and I am going to take advantage of that, which, you know, I was going to say, like, maybe some people consider that cheating. I don't think there's any cheating in a game like this, so I don't think you could really call that cheating. And then what I'm going to do here is start to make some blocks for our first start of our city. This is where we're going to start our city proper. And I'm just going to make a series of rectangles going down to here. There we go. This is going to be our first little main drag for our city here. And that's how we're going to start. So I mentioned before we got started with this that I've been watching a lot of a YouTuber called City Planner Plays, and he's given a lot of hot tips. One of the hot tips is basically how to build these first blocks, and so you'll notice that I am, if you are familiar with City Planner Plays, I'm sort of emulating what they do because, you know, it really works, and so I'm going to be following in their footsteps there. And it makes for sort of a boring city at first because it's just a series of rectangles, and really what's going to make this game fun is creating unique cities, you know, that sort of like develop organically, have cool streets that sort of curve and form a nice looking city, and eventually we will get there, but starting out we're just going to start with these squares, which will be a little boring, but you know what? It'll get better with time. All right, so we've got the start of where we're going to build our city. You can see down here our demand for residential is high. There's only 3 zones: residential, commercial, which there's no demand for yet, and industrial, which there's also no demand for yet either. But before we get started placing our residential, let's take care of water and power, because if we're going to have homes, we're going to have water and power. So if we go here, you can see that we can go and make a water pumping station, which will just pump water straight out of here. And you'll see that there's a red circle around this. That's the noise this then creates. It's noisy, so if we were to build this near houses, the people who live in those houses wouldn't be too happy, so we're gonna keep this away from homes. But we've got our pumping station, and then we're gonna need a water treatment facility, or we could do a water drainage pipe, but that's gonna just pollute our waters, and I don't wanna do this. This will pollute our land, but better polluting our land than the water right now. We're gonna go ahead and use one of these water inland treatment plants once we build a road for that. Okay, so next we're going to get our power taken care of. Now we can do coal generators or wind. I like to do wind whenever we can, and it looks like there's lots of places around here that have pretty good wind. 8 megawatts is the most that these wind turbines can produce, and it looks like we're producing pretty good wind right here, so I'm going to put one there, then I'll put another one right next to it. There we go. And you know what? I'm going to do a third right over. Actually, you know what? Let's undo that. I do have a mod which allows us to undo, which is very nice. Okay, I'm actually going to put the wind turbine a little bit closer to here. What I'm trying to do is connect it to my water treatment. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move my water treatment. That's what I've just decided. Okay, so what we're going to do is go one wind here, another wind here, and then we're going to put in our water, not water treatment, but the water pumping station. Okay, so we've got our wind. If you look now, power's connected to that. And then I want a water treatment facility as well. So I think what I'm going to do is build the water treatment facility down this way. I'm going to make us an industrial zone, all right? So the industrial zone is going to go down this way, all right? Away from our homes. This is where we're going to start building our industrial zone. And actually, let's go back on that one. Here we go. Make a block like that. Block like that. Actually, hold on. Apologies, everybody. I'm trying to future plan here, so I need to make this a little bit bigger because eventually we'll widen the street here. And this is going to future-proof that and allow us to widen it without interrupting business too much. There we go. So we'll start with these 3 right there, and then I'll do another 4th one right over here. 4 blocks. There we go. Okay, and then we need a place for our water treatment plant, and I'll go ahead and plot that water treatment plant right at the end over here. That's going to be the water treatment plant. Okay, next, let's put our water pipes in, okay? So we're going to do water pipes running along the roads here. There we go. Run the water pipes up here. There we go. And for now, we'll just do the water pipes like this. And eventually we'll expand those. Okay, so there we go. We've got our water for the city. Last thing, we need to make sure that power's connected. But let's go ahead and start to put in our residential areas. Residential areas are going to go right down here. We'll start with this street here. All right. And we'll run power from here to right here. There we go. That's going to be for the water treatment. And then we'll run power from there up here. There we go. And that's going to be for our housing. Okay, and then we'll let that play out. We should see houses starting to pop up over here. Yep, our first house is going up right by the power. And you can see if we go to our power that since these power lines are built next to the house, it's going to power up. And as these houses expand, they will all have power. And we'll just watch this play out. Oh, it doesn't have water? Well, that's weird. Why doesn't it have water? I definitely have... Oh, you know what? I forgot to run the water from the water pumping station. That would help. Here we go. That's why I didn't have water. Now these houses should have access to water. They should. There we go. Water needs are met. And you can see our first neighborhood here on Walker Street popping up. Looking good. So our streets. I'm not going to worry too much about the names of the streets except for this street right here, which is going to be our main street. And I'm going to call that Main Street. This is our main street where all of our businesses are going to be. I live in a pretty small town, and that's the way my town works. There's a main drag that has all of our shops, our stores, our restaurants, and then the houses are built behind that main drag. And I think that that's how a lot of cities in the US start out. And that is certainly how this city is going to start out. Okay, now demand for other things are starting to increase. We've got a little bit of demand for housing. We've got a big demand for industry. I'm going to go ahead and meet the demand for businesses by putting in businesses here, 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 and here, okay? We're just going to fill up this entire street with business. But then I'm going to put in houses here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to sort of adjust what we did there. What I'm going to do is sort of split this half and half. We're going to put the businesses in like that, okay? And let that play out. Businesses should build there and here, and then houses should build here, which will carry the power over. You can see a house is going up here, but eventually those houses, there we go, should join power grids. But now we need some industry. And down here, we've already talked about how we're going to designate this as our industrial area. So I'm going to put industry right there. We'll let that pop up, and we'll see how that meets our demand for industry. Right now, we're still positive money-wise, but we're losing money. But we will start to lose less and less as more residents move in. And as more residents move in, then our tax revenue will go up. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and build this and this. 2 more blocks. And what I want to do is extend our residential down this way. And you know what I'm going to do is do the same over here. Like that. But now we've got these unsightly power lines. I'm going to extend housing down this way. And eventually I'm going to get rid of these power lines, because what we're going to see is that as the houses extend over to here, they're going to connect with this block of industry like they've just done, which means now I can get rid of these power lines. There we go. And now I'm going to need to just fill in an area with housing where those power lines just were. There we go. And the demand for housing just keeps increasing. And you know what I just realized? Hold on. We're going to need to get rid of some housing. See, I built the housing too close to the industry. We don't want that. I'm going to get those houses out of here. Want to make sure that the houses aren't built too close to the industrial, because if you check, actually we can't check our pollution yet, but eventually we can check our pollution, and you'll see the noise and pollution being next to the houses. People are not going to be happy with that. So there we go. We're just going to get rid of that house. And the demand for industry is still there, so I'm going to go ahead and do another block of industry over here. There we go. I'm going to put that industry there. We'll see if that's enough. And our housing demand is still growing, which means that we're going to need to start expanding outward. Our commercial demand is still really low. We've only got, what do we got in town? We've got a Sally's, which is a neighborhood shop. We've got this place. It says drugstore. It's clearly not a drugstore. This is clearly like a knockoff Panda Express. And then we've got a general store here, but that also looks pretty funky for a general store. But I mean, I guess it is. Oh, over here we've got ourselves a convenience store, but it looks more like a donut store to me. It's weird the things that the game names these things as. It designates this as a drugstore. Obviously, it's just randomly putting down buildings and calling it whatever it wants to. That's a restaurant. We know in our heart of hearts that's a restaurant. Okay, so money-wise, we're pretty low on money. But like I said, we can't go bankrupt. And if I need to spend more money than we're generating, I can do that. But I'm going to try not to do that if we can avoid it. If we need to do it, we'll do it. Whoa, that is not how that road should go at all. There we go. If we need to do it, we'll do it. But but I want to try to avoid doing it if we can. Okay, I'm going to need to put water in here. There we go. We've used almost all of our money, but now we can go ahead and put 3 more blocks of houses in here. There we go. Lots of new housing. Popping right up. And the first goal we're going to want to take care of is this little hamlet. We want to build a little hamlet. We need a population of 500. Once we do that, we'll unlock the medical clinic as well as the elementary school and the landfill site. Right now, we don't have a landfill. I don't know what we're doing with our garbage. I don't know if we're just like magicking it away like wizards do with their poop in Harry Potter. Who can say? I can't. I don't know. Okay, industry. Looks like we've got just enough industry for our peoples here. It's looking good. Our homes are popping in. We've got this huge main drag. We have no demand for commercial right now, but as we get demand for commercial, we'll just keep building it along this main drag here, along Main Street. And what do we got here? This is Cedar Finch Street. I don't know who Cedar Finch is. Is there a bird called a Cedar Finch? There must be a bird called a Cedar Finch. That's what it's named after. Not a person named Cedar Finch, but a finch named Cedar Finch. Okay, demand is still growing for housing, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to keep extending our houses along this way, all right? And doing block by block by block. You'll notice that I am not building houses. Actually, I did build houses here. What I need to do is, it should be 5 away, actually. I'm going to clear this out. We're not going to build houses in that area because eventually we're going to make this road into a 4-lane road, and we're going to build commercial along that 4-lane road. So I'm going to keep houses away from that for the time being. Just like we're doing here, we're sort of future-proofing that, designating this area for commercial in the future. And look at that, actually, commercial demand is now increasing. So I could probably build a few more shops along the main drag. I'm going to put those 2 in for now. And then I'll slowly add more as demand increases. I don't want to add commercial too quickly because then we will not have people to work in those stores if we aren't able to meet demand for those stores. Okay. But housing demand is always increasing. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and make 1 more block there. And we're getting close. We're just about 55 citizens away from meeting our first goal there, which is exciting. Gonna keep on working downwards here, making a couple more blocks of housing. Gotta make sure that as we're growing, we're also extending our plumbing, because I don't want houses without plumbing. That would be ridiculous. We're living in a modern age, and one of the defining things of the modern age is the fact that we can go to the bathroom in our houses in a toilet. It is a luxury we definitely take for granted, but could you imagine if we did it another way? Some people might argue we should be doing it another way, but look, I'm not going to rock the toilet boat. Okay, medical clinic, elementary school, and landfill site has been unlocked, as well as loans and taxes and garbage and healthcare and education. We can set policies involving those things, but the most important thing that we've unlocked so far is probably the landfill. We're gonna need a landfill. If we don't have that now, it's like the citizens found out, holy crap, we can build a landfill. Well, you better build one. I'm gonna build it as far away from town as we can, build it right down here, but we've got ourselves a landfill now. It's out of the way of the city. And can I look at pollution now? I can look at pollution now, so you can see the pollution, right? You can see that it's creeping into these houses, and these houses are probably going to be a little bit unhappy. I should almost take out the houses here and maybe just do commercial over here too. I'm thinking that maybe I will, because that is creeping into these areas. I'm going to just take these houses out. I'm sorry, people who live here. All right, but there is other land in here. We'll just relocate you. We're going to reserve that for commercial there, just so that, there we go, these people aren't being affected by the pollution or the noise for that matter. Commercial does create noise too, not as much as the industry does, but it does create some noise. All right, and we're going to need to just keep on building our blocks outward like this. And as I said at the beginning of this, just creating a series of rectangles may seem boring at the moment, but I assure you the time will come that we'll start to build a more unique city That isn't just going to be a series of rectangles. Okay, so we've got a couple of other things in addition to our landfill. We've got ourselves a medical center, and I think, maybe more importantly, an elementary school. We can start to educate our children. So now that we've got the elementary school, I'm going to go ahead and plop that down right here, all right? And now that we've got ourselves a medical clinic, that cost $10,000, so I can't buy that right now. But like I said, I'm not going to spend money we don't have if I don't absolutely need to. So we're going to wait on that. And I'm going to start putting in some more homes. I'm going to put in the houses there, all right? And we do have some houses that are extending into the area that I don't really want them to be extending. I'm going to tear those down and have them rebuild them, if they can. Put some more houses in there. And you know what? I'll go ahead and put that there to extend that block. So now that we're building more houses, it's just worth checking in. I still have plenty of electricity coming from these two wind turbines at the moment. Water's still looking good, but eventually we are going to need to upgrade those things. So we'll go back and check on that periodically. Okay, and our commercial demands are now growing too. Despite the fact that we don't have enough workers in this drugstore, there is a demand for commercial growing. Okay, we did actually just fill that. I'm going to wait till the demand grows a little bit more. Then I'm going to fill in a couple more stores here, because it looks like the demand is kind of middling around, you know, like a medium demand. We don't need it right away, but we can plop it down soon. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna expand our town close to the border of this here for now. Eventually, what I want to do is, this is our industrial area, but right now, all the trucks for the industry are taking our main street in order to, you know, send and receive items. I don't want them having to go down Main Street. Could you imagine how annoying it would be if your Main Street was constantly filled with traffic, just these trucks hauling, you know, big loads through your town? It would be terrible. I wouldn't want to live there. I want to make a off-ramp, on-ramp over here that our industry area can take exclusively, so that they don't need to haul things through the middle of our town. That's what we'll do eventually, but we're a ways away from being able to do that. At the moment, we'll just keep expanding our city, and our housing demands are growing. So let's go ahead and put in one more block's worth of housing and check in on our next milestone. So the next one's going to be the Worthy Village. That's going to need to be 1,000 people. So it looks like we're about 363 citizens away from getting that. And we should be able to get to that pretty soon. Looks like we still only have a medium demand for commercial, so I'm going to hold off on that just a little bit longer until we put down a few more blocks of housing. Once we get these blocks of housing down, I bet you that the demand for commercial will increase to the point that we could probably put down a few more stores and be sitting pretty. Industry is also growing. Yeah, I'd say that it's probably time for us to put in a little bit more industry. I'm going to go ahead and put you in like that, and then fill out this block with our commercial, and we'll see if that's enough to meet demand. If not, then we'll extend it a little bit more. Houses are still popping up here, so no up. And actually, water. It looks like we forgot to extend our water down that way. Here we go. Extend that water down. There we go. That should make them happy. And the housing demand is just going up, 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 and up. So we'll go ahead and start our next street right over here. There we go. Water should be good for now. The next street that we build, we'll need to put new water lines. But let's go ahead and start from the top down, just like we did before. All right, the town is growing at a really good rate. I'm happy. You know what? Let's just do this entire street for now. That'll be fine. We got a pretty good demand for commercial going, so I'll go ahead and do a few more stores for us there. Just keep on creeping that commercial all the way down here. Fill out this main street. It'll be nice. And now we are okay. About, what is that? 209 people away from a Worthy Village. And at a Worthy Village, actually, what are we going to unlock this time around? We're going to get the firehouse and the police station. Firehouse is very important. Things like to catch fire in these towns, and we need fire people to go put out them flames. So, yes, this little city of ours keep on, you know, I'm just going to preemptively make some streets for us. There we go, like this. And then I will do like that. And then another street like that. There we go. So now we've got the future of our town sort of mapped out there. Nice. Okay. So that is all the residential that we're going to expand there. Commercial and industrial are now on the rise as more people are moving in. We need more shops for them. We need more industry because that's basically where they're working right now, is they're doing industrial work. I'll fill out the rest of that block of industrial for us. And demand for commercial is even higher still. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more stores there. All right, and I'm going to wait for our demand for residential to get a little bit higher. Then we're going to add more homes. But let's just take a look at our streets so far. Yeah, it's a quaint little town. I like it. There's a rock sitting right here. I feel like that's valuable land, which we could build a home on. I'm going to go ahead and destroy that and let us build a home on that giant rock. Same over here. These rocks all up in the way. There we go. I'm going to destroy you. It's weird to have these big old rocks in the middle of our town. There we go. And now, yeah, we've got a pretty healthy demand for housing growing now. So let's start to put in a few more blocks of housing. Probably get away with doing 2 blocks worth at the moment. Maybe even 3 blocks worth. We'll see what happens once these fill in. Demand for commercial is growing, and it's only going to keep growing as housing fills in. So let's go ahead and fill out the rest of that street. And peak on our power consumption. So the needle is starting to move now, but we've got 9 watts created out of 16, or 9 watts demand out of 16 megawatts created. So we got plenty of that. Just hit our worthy village status. So we got a firehouse and our police station unlocked now. The next milestone is going to be Tiny Town. Reach a population of 1,600. And with Tiny Town, we're going to unlock a bunch of stuff. Public libraries, high school, as well as a ton of parks, which are really going to help the happiness of our citizens.